Hi everyone, welcome back to Loyaltiness channel. This is a channel where we learn about the laws of Ghana, the things that affect the ordinary person. So if you're interested in something like this, hey, stay tuned. Today we're going to talk about a case which is a rape case that went all the way to the Supreme Court. In the High Court, it went to the Court of Appeal and it went to the Supreme Court. It involves two policemen who raped a hawker in Accra. So the case that I'm going to talk about now was in 2010 in the Supreme Court of Ghana. So there is this lady who says that she is a hawker. She sells second-hand goods. She was actually hawking her goods when the two policemen called her to their office. She went to their office. Then they pushed her into a storeroom. One of the policemen stayed outside of the office while the other one was having sex with her. According to her, the first one had sex with her 4 times. The other one who was outside called him and said, "Hurry up, station master will be coming very, very soon." So the one in the room came out, then the other one came inside and had sex with her 1 time. She cried a lot according to her story and she left. According to her, she left the police station and went to her friends at Tudu where she was selling. And she informed one of her friends that 2 policemen have raped me. Then the friend said, "No, let's go. Let's go to the police station." So they went to the police station and went to meet the policemen, confronted them. And whilst they were talking, another police officer who was there woke up from whatever she was doing, whether she was sleeping, and came to see what was happening. Then that is the confrontation between the police and then the lady. Now, the police conducted investigations into the case, and the 2 policemen were arrested, and then they were prosecuted for the crime of rape. What does it mean to say that you have raped someone? How do you prove that somebody has been raped? The law says that if you have sex with a female who is more than 16 years or who is 16 years and above without her consent, then you have committed rape on her. So sex with a female who is 16 years and above without her consent. So please take note of that. Now, to be able to prove that the person has been raped, you have to prove that the accused person had sex with the female. The female was 16 years and above. And the sex was without the consent or the agreement of the female. Now, they did a trial with the jury and the judge. I've already discussed how trial with the jury works. What was the story of the policeman? The policeman stated that this lady, he was in a relationship with one of the policemen, let's say the policeman 1. They've been in a relationship for like 3 months now. They've been having sex. The lady even said that she was pregnant for this first policeman. And he gave him some money to go and abort it, but she didn't go. And so she came back to even confront them, and there was a confrontation that other policewoman heard it and came out. That is the story of the policemen. They denied totally that they had nothing to do with the lady. And then one policeman even stated that, the first policeman stated that, "Oh, this lady, we've had sex in my room. I even went to one hotel, which was in Accra, to go and have sex with her. So it's not like I've not had sex with her. I've had sex with her before, but I didn't rape her. There's no way both of us raped her that day." That was the story of the police. Now, after the jury went through the trial, they came out with the conclusion that both of them were guilty, and the judge gave them 15 years in prison. They appealed to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal said, "No, still you are guilty." And now they have appealed to the Supreme Court of Ghana. Take note that the incident happened in 1998. The people were convicted, and then in 2010, they are appealing again in the Supreme Court. What the police were basically saying is that the courts, the High Court and the Court of Appeal, got it wrong by saying that they were guilty, in the sense that they did not look at their defense very well. So now the Supreme Court have to determine whether or not the case was actually proven against these 2 policemen. What did they look at? They said we have to determine if there was sex. If there was sex, was it with the consent with the lady? Was the lady more than 16 years? And the particular was a sex between the accused person and the complainant. Now there was no direct evidence. It was not clear that somebody went to catch them or anything like that. It was just the lady's evidence. From the lady's evidence, that very day they went to the hospital, and so there was a medical report to show that there has been some cuts and sores in the vagina of the lady. Exactly. And the medical officer concluded that everything showed that there had been some form of sex which was forceful, and that caused those cuts or sores in the vagina of the lady. There is this police officer as well who said that that very afternoon, that very time that the lady said the crime happened, she saw the lady in front of the police station. And then there was someone from the hotel who came to testify that it is not true that the police officer had come there with the lady to have sex before. And so the story by the police officer that he has actually gone to that hotel on a particular day to have sex with the lady was proved to be untrue. Now, something very key. When she came to the police station, investigations were being conducted. When she was speaking to the police officer or the investigator who was in charge, she was able to describe vividly what was in the room where she went to have sex with the people. So she showed that there were two beds. One of them was covered with red, another was covered with white. She described where she said they had forceful sex with her. And then when the investigator went to check, according to the investigator's evidence in court, the description was perfect. And then there was an earring, a broken earring on the mattress, which the lady identified to be her earring. Yes. So putting all of these pieces of evidence together, the Supreme Court was of a strong opinion that, yes, these two accused persons were guilty, and that their story that the lady came to get money for abortion and then there was a confrontation, and that the policeman had had sex with the lady before and that they were in a relationship were baseless, and then they were false. They were not supported by the evidence on record. This is something that we can learn something from as women, as men. You may think that, oh, nobody is watching, there is no direct evidence, but the court is able to put pieces of evidence together, pieces of stories together, and then in determining whether or not to believe you or not to believe you, one lie can show the court that you are somebody that cannot be believed. And that is the case where these policemen, some lies they said showed clearly that you could not believe them, although there was no camera or there was nobody else apart from the lady to give evidence as to the rape. If you are found guilty of the crime of rape, the law says that your punishment is a minimum of 5 years and a maximum of 25 years. So it means that immediately you are found guilty, you cannot get below 5 years. It will start from 5 years to 25 years. So in the case of these two police officers, the court gave them 15 years. Now, there was something very important that the Supreme Court said. The Supreme Court said that when judges are given punishments, they are supposed to take note of so many things, including the fact that it has to serve as an example. It has to be deterrent so that other people will see it and say that, I won't do that. But then again, they also have to look at the profession of the person. Now, this particular case, these were two policemen who were supposed to protect the interest of the ordinary Ghanaian, but then they took the law into their own hands and even abused an innocent person and raped that person when they were the same person who have been given the power to protect citizens against rape and such similar offenses. And so in giving such sentences, they should give higher sentences for people who know the right thing and did not do the right thing. This case is the case of Gligah and Atiso and the Republic. And sometimes there will not be direct evidence because it will just be you alone and the person who raped you. And when it happens like that, the evidence is just between both of you. And so we will look at who is lying on oath and who should be believed on oath. A vivid explanation and vivid description of the things that happened and what happened will help a lot. Your ability to go and seek medical care the very moment it happens to you is very helpful. And then this particular one, they even saw semen in her vagina. They saw discharge with semen and those cuts and sores in her vagina. And this is very important because to put the situation in context that what could happen to a lady who is in the police station crying and pointing at a particular police officer that that person has raped her. And so please, I hope that it doesn't happen to anybody. Rape is the worst thing that can happen to anybody. But please, I know the trauma that may be involved and all the crying that may come up with it. But please, when anybody rapes you, please take the necessary step, report to the police, go to the hospital and get medical checks so that there can be evidence. When you go, talk to somebody, send a text to someone, report to a friend, your mother, somebody. Don't wait for a long time before you do that. At least leave some evidence there so that even if you are not there one day, we can put those pieces together and say that this person will not just get up and go and lie to her friend that she has been raped. Although you can have a defense that the lady consented or she agreed to it. If you obtain that agreement or consent through fraud or deceit fraud or deceit, that consent will be invalidated. What does this mean? If you lied to the woman for her to accept that, oh, I want to have sex with you, when you actually deceived her to accept it, the court will not accept your consent. So let me give an example. There's a case that a man with a 16-year-old girl, he was teaching the girl piano lessons. And then the man said that, oh, as for piano lessons, I will need to penetrate you down there so that it will clear your throat so that you can sing well or you can practice well. This was a 16-year-old girl. And she agreed and lay down, and then the man had sex with her. It was later that the lady realized that there was sex. He reported to the parents, and the man was reported to the police station. Yes, the law said that although the 16-year-old girl agreed to have sex with the man, that agreement was obtained by fraud and deceit. And so that consent was void and invalid, and the man was liable for the rape. Please remember that consent can be withdrawn at any time. So even as you're having sex with someone, if the person says stop, that is it. That is the moment when she withdraws her consent. So you stop it and that will be it. So listen, if someone says that, no, I don't want this, stop this, then you stop it. Please be very sure that the person actually wants it. We've been educating people on how to get consent before you have sex with people. I will not belabor the point in this one. Please, make sure she agrees to it. If not, you may get yourself into trouble. Thank you for watching and have a very good time. Bye.